Unfortunately, I had to end on the Odin note. But we thought, okay, the back end of the stage was really poor. We didn't see enough from them. They were still competitive, but we didn't see enough, Vinny. However, yesterday's match really gave me hope for this roster that, okay, maybe the performances throughout BO1s were just a bit rough. They needed a bit more room to kind of open things up.
Yeah, and I think as the stage went on, and now as we've gone into the best of threes and we saw how Antic performed yesterday, we can kind of see that those first 3 wins probably weren't as big a deal as we made them out to be. Obviously, getting 3 wins against any team is fantastic, but as the stage went on, we saw that it wasn't quite the results that we thought they were. Now that they've managed to win their first best of 3, we can sort of start talking about how they perform in those long distance matches and how they can perform under pressure. And they did the job yesterday. Obviously, Relays has really took over in terms of his KD and the way he's been playing. We mentioned a lot about ACOG during the stage. He was a little bit quieter yesterday, but he definitely has the ability to turn it on and take over maps.
Yeah. Very talented roster and very much like all rookies. Was it Bailey who referred to himself as a veteran? That's just such a meme, by the way. Like, these guys are far and away the youngest team in the league. The average age of these players is under 19 years old. And these guys have come through and really surprised people. They had a great start to the stage. They beat Antic, Supernova, Odium, and then they lost 4 games in a row. Their final of which was actually against the Chiefs. Going into the APAC Cup, they had a pretty decent performance and notably beat Prodigy. I think that's a decent win to take away, especially because they lost to them in the regular stage. And then, of course, better than all of that is getting that 2-1 yesterday over Antic, which unfortunately I didn't get to watch, but it does go to show how dangerous these players are, and you really can't count them out. To me, I think that the biggest red flag I see with this team is where is the mental barrier going to be against Chiefs? So a team where they last met in a BO3, they didn't win a single round, and moreover, since then, Chiefs have now had 2 pretty significant roster upgrades in both Oda and, of course, Jigsaw, plus Quiz is firing like crazy right now. So Outlast, they are underdogs, and that is an understatement.
Yeah, look, to be fair, I think they've just got a mountain to climb, and they're going to have to do it one step at a time. I think of Outlast kind of like, you said long distance like game before, and it got me thinking like, Outlast kind of have it's like a long distance relationship. You know, they start real bright, they burnt really bright really quickly, then it fizzled out. But then a little spark hit them back in the APAC Cup, and all of a sudden they're ignited once again, Vinny. Their love, it's returned. I actually, I'm gonna make a really bold call here, and I'm sure, Vinny, you'll probably want to slap me when I say this, but Outlast, if you don't look at the attitude of the way some talk and play, actually reminds me of the old Extricity roster way back in 2018.
Wow.
What a stretch.
That is a stretch.
Well, you tell me, how competitive was the old Extricity roster against the good teams?
Yeah, extremely. I think the biggest thing with Extricity was that everyone on that team was under 18, so there actually wasn't anything to play for. I remember when I joined that roster, I think I was the only one over 18. And we were scrimming sort of for the sake of scrimming, and then we were playing Cyber Gamer Silver way back in the day.
You guys almost beat Fnatic. Were you on the team at that point? In the 6 Masters? I think you left, but at that point, that was a really dangerous roster though.
Yeah. I think it's when, shout out Shabs, that's when Shabs joined the roster.
Jesus.
Yeah, way back.
You guys remember Tigers?
Yeah,
Tigers, he did the graphics for the first gauntlet way back in the day.
A legend.
But the reason I say that is because 2 of their players have only just turned 18. Like this stage.
Yeah.
So it's the youngest roster we may have ever had in a pro league.
And talking to Ned yesterday, there was a real sense of maturity out of these guys. So I think they definitely have the ability, if they want to take it seriously, to really go far. It's just about staying together. That's the biggest thing. Even if they don't win today, they lose to Chiefs, take as many learning points as they can out of it, and stay together and just work on things. Because I think the biggest problem with our region at the moment is just everyone chops and changes every stage.
As Oda famously tweeted out at the start of the stage before he got dropped by the GG roster. Yeah, and look, to double down on that, like Relays, who I had pretty much never heard of coming into this stage. He's the 7th best player in the league right now by
crazy
stats. And we expect a lot of firepower out of these guys. Expect a lot of motivation. Like I said, my concern comes down to the mental fortitude. If they start getting slapped by Jigsaw dropping 26 kills, I think it may be a quick one.
Well, there you hear it right from Vinny's mouth. Stick together, continue to play together. You might have an abysmal career, and then you can come and join us on the desk. Let's go ahead and have a look at the vetoes. I'm so sorry, Vinny. That one was rough. Let's have a look at the vetoes and break this one down. Maybe you can almost go to an international event. We'll go straight into the picks. Bank to start with. I genuinely worry when we see Bank come out in OCE just because of the open nature of the actual map. Vinny, we have talked about this extensively, and I really want to try to move away from the conversation as much as I can, but the attack is just going to be so important for Outlast here. What can they get done? Fortunately, they start on defense.
They do, and I think that this map is actually attacker-sided if you can play it really well. I think Chiefs definitely have the experience to play it how it's meant to be played. I know the guys on that team have played this map quite a lot. I know Tex and Cairo both like this map a fair bit, and IGLing through this map, and Oda, obviously with Bliss, played Bank quite a bit. So yeah, I think this is going to be definitely Chiefs' best map pick out of the ones they had up. And yeah, I don't think Outlast going to the defense first is going to help them all that much. I think we might actually see a very one-sided attacking half.
Yeah, I mean, Chiefs went 7-0 last time they played this map. It was against Odium, but still a 7-0, and they were very convincing in that. And that was even without Jigsaw. Border picked up by Outlast, and I'm actually a little bit surprised to see the Chiefs' defense pick as well. I almost reckon that both these teams probably could have picked starting attack on these maps. I mean, there's two of the most attacker-sided maps in the pool right now, Chalet being the other really attacker-sided one. But yeah, I just think this veto was always going to be a challenge for Outlast, right? Chiefs have played all 9 maps, right? In this stage, all 9 maps. That's kind of wild to think only playing, what, 10 games or 9 games? They've played all the different maps.
And not only that, with 1 week together
prior
to the league.
Exactly. A team that really understands it. And, okay, so it constants the decider. Now, this is, funnily enough, the only map that since Chiefs formed as Ludovica just before the season started, Constant is the only map they are yet to win. Actually have lost it twice now. And, of course, one of the times is to GG in the APAC Cup, and that was a 7-5. So I think that they're taking some learnings from losing to some very solid teams. And, yeah, I don't think we'll even get that, to be honest with you. I think this is going to be a pretty convincing 2-0 in favor of the Chiefs. Look, Outlast can give it a crack, but I think we all know how this is likely to head.
All right, well, I won't ask your opinion. I don't really have a good enough excuse as to why not. Let's go across to Newcastle's Cousins and Ox.
Well, we've got ourselves our first semi-final tonight as the Chiefs, of course, now looking to make a grand final. We finally get that final missing piece. Jigsaw making his debut for the Oceania League, fresh off of his European vacation. He makes his way back down under.
was there a throw in that? I mean, what do you want me to add on top? I mean, it's obviously super exciting to see him back in host. Are you like throwing shade at EU there? I don't.
No, I'm just
a vacation. I mean, he was playing professionally, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, you know, I'm saying he's gone away and he's come back. You know what they say? If you love something, you let it go, and then it finds its way back to you. And I think that's maybe what Oda did with Jigsaw.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as he said himself, right, the moment Oda got dropped from his previous roster, first person he messaged, Jigsaw, to get him back into the stack. And it was a question mark throughout the stage, will Jigsaw actually rejoin? Who will he replace? And how will that look actually inside of the server? And today we will get some answers to that at an OCN, well, not an OCN level, but at an Oceanic level. That was a bit of a throwback. Because we have actually already seen this roster play out back in the R6 APAC Cup qualifier. The grand final between Chiefs and GG went the distance, and Jigsaw actually absolutely popped off in that particular series. I tuned in, had a bit of a watch, and on one of those particular maps being, I believe it was the Skyscraper, 26 bomb in one map in a 15 rounder. So he's clearly already found some form, and we'll see how that carries across to tonight.
As for their opponent, Outlast Gaming, what a journey it's been. Won the first 3 play days in the regular season, getting themselves top of the standing. Since then, though, they tumbled all the way down to the bottom 2 of the playoff positions. But they win yesterday against Antic, 7-5, 7-5, and then 7-5 on the third map. They got the job done in a 2-1 fashion in that quarterfinal. Now you're just 1 series away from a grand final and a spot at the major. So can they cause a boil over, an upset? No one is giving Outlast a favoritism tag, but there might be some that would give them an underdog status. And I think that's probably a fair outlook for this team, because they've got some seriously talented players. ACOG, Relays, Ned, all popped off yesterday. Bailey finally over his little dry streak. He even started to perform. And even Yentire. Sure, the first 2 maps, Yentire was quiet, but by map 3, he started to really get going. You've got some fraggers on this team. And you've got a team that also has no real expectation. For Chiefs, it's really must win, get to the grand final, and, well, eventually wait for Gaming Gladiators, you would imagine. What a tough game later today for Circular Spheres. So Chiefs, first time that we see Jigsaw in the Oceania League at Pro League. Sure, he made his debut in the APAC Cup qualifier. Well, this is a different beast altogether, though. And of course, all eyes will be on how he performs. And he's going to be the kind of player he's not going to have any kind of pressure on his shoulders. He's not going to feel overwhelmed. He's been here, done this plenty of times before. If he can go over to EU and frag out, he can certainly do it here.
No massive standouts in terms of the ban phase. The Monty will persist. It's at a 72% ban rate here in O. So I have Nook listed as a 0% ban rate, so this is the first Nook ban of the stage, so I suppose that is of note. On a map of the scale of Bank, it's not something that Chiefs will want to deal with in their second half defensively, and don't feel the need to bring it here on attack.
Relays is fan of the Nook.
Yep.
I wouldn't go as far to say target ban, but certainly more just to not allow OUTLAST to be able to play that particular operator. Chiefs map pick here, Bank. They are, well, statistically, the best attacking team in the league.
Really?
Yeah, Xenox fun fact.
Above GG?
Above GG.
Wow.
57.14% to 55.81. You want to know what the third team is actually Circular Spheres on a whopping 43. A big gulf between the top two and the rest in this competition. 90 seconds remaining in this opening round of the semi-final. Nothing really to note. Drop down elevator from Bailey. OUTLAST is the kind of team, though, if you give them confidence, they can certainly flourish. Drone gets shot out. Still so many remaining, though, for Chiefs. Glass is activated early here from Relays, maybe expecting a mid-round drop. The aggression from Chiefs, you know it can happen at any time. Adrenal Surge activated. There was that drop from Oda. Relays was watching it, but then turned his attention over towards Admin. The timing just gets caught out. So unfortunate. Basement here on Bank in this region has actually been the most attacker-sided that we've had out of all of the sites on Bank.
Yeah, unfortunate there for Relays. Didn't really get util dumped properly by Chiefs and was running the Warden anyway, despite that some poor timing on his behalf, and so Chiefs able to capitalize on that. Prior to that, everybody else did consolidate back down on Basement, and Chiefs with some really good drone work throughout this round. Still with 5 up, by the way, have been able to note that. They have the advantage. They should know the default attacking pattern now. Jig sort of rotate main, but slapped down by Yentire. So not the best of starts here for Jigsaw, and he is going to be under the microscope this evening.
Certainly will be. Cairo was forced back, but makes his way back in towards site. ACOG with the Vector, very good against Oda. That plant, though, will be successful from Cairo, so that's a retake scenario. And Tex gets a big kill as well on the exit frag, but lost his life to ACOG, a second found. 2 in the round. And Cairo looking to rotate to maybe go and play this hatch over towards Staff. Quiz by himself in server room. They could double swing together at the same time. Please don't peek one by one, and it's a slow walk from Ned. A catastrophic error, and it may just cost OUTLAST Gaming as ACOG cannot swing and clear Quiz. 2 solo pushes will be their downfall. For Chiefs, though, a good way to start the semi-final and attack a ground win.
Yeah, I think during this series, it's going to be very fair to frame Chiefs in such a way that we don't quite expect perfection, but near to it. The reason being, if they are to go on and win this series, they're going to have to play near perfect against Gaming Gladiators. With that being said, this was not the best round from the attack, let's be fair. Jigsaw dies main uncontested. They get a little bit fortunate in terms of default plant because of a lack of denial there. And the retake attempt was also rather poor. Instead of stacking back up main and reclaiming top control and taking on Cairo and then trading Quiz, they went 1-for-1 towards Quiz, which is not the optimal way to play that retake. So Chiefs get away with a couple of fortunate plays, not to mention as well, good timing on Relays in open area. They didn't play that particularly well. There's no vert pressure. Horizontal was a little bit lacking and the Grim didn't get value. But again, they're the kind of team that can just find those very small edges against a team like OUTLAST. And so able to still get that result across the line. And I'm sure they'll be rather content to get that result. It is their map pick, but starting out on attack can be rough at times. So it's now about just continuing this momentum forward and continuing to sharpen as the match progresses.
Attackers are moving to defuse a bomb.
Despite the fact that Chiefs ended up winning that round, I think there's some takeaways for OUTLAST. They could have played that round so much better, yet it was still quite close right to the very end. Again, Bank is very much one of the more attacking-sided maps that we've got in this region, expecting Chiefs to do well in this half, and again, doubling down Cairo with a opening kill. Relays 0 and 2 to start. 1 to watch for OUTLAST, one of the top players that they've got. They've got quite a few though. ACOG yesterday was sensational. Head as well, especially in that third map along with Yentai. Both played really well in that decisive third map. Red ping information for Jigsaw. Knows there's one playing over towards that stock hallway. Janitor window already dealt with in terms of the mirror. Bailey. I mean, he's the kind of player that I wouldn't be surprised if he pushes up to that stock window and tries to clear one over towards Terrace, but he's got to be mindful of the fact Chiefs will be watching for those pushes. Early adrenal surge from Quiz on the Finca. I'm expecting that particular operator to get used quite heftily by OUTLAST as well in the second half. Into airlock we go, off of the Candels from Tax, and he knows, right side though, nicely done from Bailey. Ned as well wins his little battle. Chiefs trying to pick the pace up mid-round. Still lots of time inside round. Jigsaw 0-2 to start. Janitor finally cleared out. Quiz and Oda against the Entire. Oda finding the double has been able to salvage this round for Chiefs because it wasn't looking great. Their entries into sight, into airlock were all being met pretty nicely by the defense. Yentire with a lot to do.
They've got a square cam. They know exactly where he is.
They had the information. That is a bot square cam. He's now top. Plan to go down. They know exactly where he's coming from. There was a headshot angle on the bomb chassis. Oh, what a shot from Yentire onto Oda. Hits the head. 37 seconds now in the post plant. No nitrocell. Does actually have some Zoto canisters, but that doesn't matter at this point. Quiz is hot with the LMG. He's looking good. So far on the Finca, 2-0 start for Chiefs.
That round can really fall apart quickly there, right? Typically 2v1 post, you want one player outside on the rappel, typically dependent on where the plant is for top floor. And so Oda with the slight overpick just gave that small opportunity. The Quiz is looking really sharp with two really clean post plants from him. Ned gets a little bit of a minor shout out in that round, did some good work on the castle up close, and was able to disrupt the plan, which did hinge largely on the Ying and helping create space and pressure on toward that defense. But the rest of the brute force there from Chiefs was pretty clean. But again, I don't want to be overly critical again, like I sort of said before, but that's 2 rounds now where the Chiefs have played pretty far from perfect and pretty far from the level that they'll need to against GG. It's going to work here in this matchup, but just looking for a little bit more polish, especially on their map pick. But as the series progresses, I'm sure that may happen.
Yeah, I mean, in fairness to OUTLAST, though, they did really well to deny that airlock push and the mid-round entry into site is not something we typically see in the Oceania League from a lot of these teams. It's usually a little bit more towards the end of these rounds rather than the 90-second mark. 4 kills to start for Oda, 4 kills as well for Quiz. Of course, as much as there's going to be noise made around Jigsaw's return, this is very much a stacked roster even without him.
Well, Quiz is the top-rated player on the team, and by a pretty significant margin, which I don't think was on many people's bingo cards heading into the stage. I mean, don't get me wrong, Quiz is solid and has a lot of experience dating all the way back to Apex South, but
maybe this is his time.
He was never the X-Factor player, right? He was always rock solid, but he was never the X-Factor player.
Yeah, I wonder if maybe there was talk about, did he join Knights a little too early in his career?
Yeah, I remember that experiment, right? It didn't really go well.
Feels like he's finally coming into his own. Well, OUTLAST have been somewhat competitive in the opening 2 rounds. They haven't been clean sweeps for Chiefs. They've had to really work to clear out these defensive sites, but it's about time now OUTLAST look for a counterpunch. Can they get aggressive early? Can they find a way to get on the front foot, get a couple of kills, put Chiefs on the back foot? Right now, just holding 5 basement probably isn't the right way to go about it. You're just giving so much time and space for Chiefs to do what they need to do. Ned over towards blue stairs, holding a very critical position. Does have some help behind him, Bailey. And as soon as that hatch gets opened up, he doesn't even contest blue stairs anymore. Yeah. And that's fine. It's the safe way to play it, but we have seen certainly some smokes that like to just keep themselves in blue and try and take one with them and continue to deny time. But also, those gas babes are really good for the late round.
Yeah, and on the topic of plant denial, Kyrie's done a phenomenal job here on those shock drones to deal with double Vulcan canisters on that default plant position. So with 1:20 to go, this is really good time management from Chiefs. They're going to have plenty of opportunities here to try and get this plant down, provided they can start forcing that smoke denial. Relays probably needs to ensure that he's in a key position, and he is currently in red, so that Nitro can come into play, because that might be the biggest win condition for the defense late round, dependent on how effective these smokes end up being.
Well, certainly one of the slower rounds that we've had. Opening kills, 113, 232 in the opening 2 rounds. Both going the way of Chiefs. Plant going down from Cairo now, as he did in the opening round. Kendall's thrown out Tex, and the drop as well. Knows they're in garage. Good headshot onto Bailey. Still has the information on the prone player. How is he getting away with that second kill onto Ned as well? Tex eventually does lose his life, but the damage done in this round. They've got the plant down, and they are just wiping the floor with Outlast Gaming. As Quiz gets the kill onto Relays, it's now a 4 versus 1 with Yentai the only one left remaining. A very clinical attack from Chiefs. You mentioned the first 2 rounds. Certainly they left a little bit on the table. Not in this round. Jigsaw's on the board as well with a couple in that round. And Chiefs with a 3-0 start and a bit of a statement. And this is not going to be an easy time in the semi-final for Outlast.
Yeah, I mean, I will be openly far more positive about that round, right? It was far better executed from Chiefs. Really good time management. The top floor clear was pretty uncontested. They flushed out blue. And then the Ying here was ultra effective. We haven't seen a ton of Ying in OCE this stage, right? It's had a 12% pick rate when available, and equally a low ban rate of 15%. And this might be a bit of an eye-opener as to teams looking at the Ying now and being like, okay, we know she's good. Maybe we'll take the risk and actually implement her into more of our execute strategies, because it was such an effective tool in flushing out red. It dealt with the plant denial potential. It facilitated that diffuser to go down and just applied a real ton of pressure. And Tex backed it up by dropping the hatch and committing his life to that play.
Who's Ted?
I don't know. I somehow like merged Tex and Ned for some reason, the 3 character names. Good work from Chiefs. And look, that's a clean first rotation, so can't really ask for much better start to the series.
5-0 for Quiz. He has not faltered whatsoever. Border to follow after this as well, and I'm not going to lie, I don't know if that's going to be a friendly time for Outlast either.
Yeah, I wonder what the Chiefs board is going to look like, right? You think about Prime Jigsaw on Bliss on Border, like far out. That was crazy. That was also at the time where they were insta-banning the Solace, so that dynamic has changed a little bit. But if anything, it's you get the free Solace ban now because you can't use a gadget in prep phase. So you think about the pre-placed drones for Chiefs and send Jigsaw in passport or detention.
Yeah.
Wow, that's going to be a real contest.
Well, Outlast really need Relays to get going. 0-3. He is the star player, top 7 in the league. Plus 25 KD coming in. Only +1 on entry, but from 29 engagements means at least he's breaking even. And so far 0-3 and no impact from really their star player. Next behind him is ACOG, but he's at least been a little bit more functional in this map of Bank. Chiefs just have all of the control here on the attack. Now, don't get it twisted. I think Outlast have got the capabilities to do somewhat similar. Again, Bank's going to be attacker-sided. You've just got to find a way to just bunker down. Can you get 2 defensive rounds here in the final 3 rounds of this half? That's all you need. Get 2. I mean, right now, you just got to focus on getting 1. Get on the board. Just try and dispel some of this pressure that's being applied. But it's another opening kill, guys. Another one. This one to Quiz. So you've got 4 opening kills in a row to 4 different players. Oda, Cairo, Tex, and Quiz. That is actually a hallmark of a really strong side. Good shot from Bailey, though, onto Quiz. That's his first death, finally. But they lose Yentai at the same time. So now Chiefs still with that player advantage.
Outlast finding it difficult to match this pressure at the moment. Potential engagement below. Is Ned aware of Cairo's position in lockers?
He's checking it.
And loses the fight.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a bad clear from Ned. He just loses the fight.
Yeah, just boss G-diff.
Just not much else you can really do about that. He gets 1 hit and down and then dead. And now it's, well, seemingly quite difficult for Bailey and ACOG. 1 spotted towards blue stairs and then he just pops back up. Jigsaw gets the kill. 3 kills in a row for Jigsaw. Until that death by the hands of ACOG, but Cairo very quickly to finish it all off. They just look very confident right now, very comfortable. First half here on Bank for Chiefs. I don't know what to say. Outlast just don't have the ability to get around the map and get in behind them, go for flanks, be aggressive. They're not going for spawn peaks. They look quite dull on their defense, which I'm a little bit surprised because yesterday when we we're doing this game, Outlast and Antic, I posed the question to you, who do you think would kind of be the team that maybe could give Chiefs the most trouble? And I backed in Outlast because I thought you got some really good fragging power on this roster. You know, the likes of Relays, Ned, ACOG. I wasn't quite sure if Antic had that same power, but we're not seeing it at the moment. Relay's still 0-4, and I know it's not to target him, but he's your best player. And it's a semi-final for a chance to go into the grand final.
Yeah, he's been running at a +25 heading into the night. Cost and survival rate, 62, 28 respectively. So
which is on the lower side.
On the low side.
Little bit. It's the lowest from the top players.
Yeah.
You would have to actually go, as I keep scrolling, to the 23rd player in the league, which is Bappin. So your 7th best player in terms of raw statistics, though, does die quite a lot, and that's a concern for Relays. One that he can work on. Also, Nook, his most played operator, not even available.
Yeah, we're not even on their attack yet, so we'll see how much that ends up hindering him. None of these rounds have felt particularly close, and that was even off the back of the first 2 rounds, which, again, to reiterate, I truly believe were not that clinical from Chiefs. But they've stepped it up. Last 2 rounds have been far stronger, and I think it's exposing some of the weaknesses here from Outlast. Deimos in play for round number 5, and Jigsaw gets free entry over towards Staff. The drone work again from Chiefs has been really spot on.
What are you doing out there?
And the entire just gets caught. It's just a massive difference.
Jigsaw's probably like, I mean, if EU was like that, I would have been still over there. Well, that actually confirms what is one of the more fun statistics I've ever seen. 5 players, 5 different players with the opening kill all in the same team.
And it took Jigsaw until round 5.
Cairo, Oda, Tex, Quiz, Jigsaw, all getting an opening kill in the first 5 rounds. That is quite an anomaly. And that is a damning statistic if you're Outlast.
Was that a random kill onto Relays? I'm not entirely sure.
Wouldn't surprise me with the way that this game's going. And he is finished off as well from Tex.
Wow.
Yeah, strong on the
I think
rappel.
this may already be just an example of Re-Q go next at this point.
Should be a kill. Yeah, freebie from Jigsaw onto ACOG. I think there was a game yesterday where it was like 3-0, and I said GG go next, and we're at 4-0. It certainly is that case right now. Flawless from Chiefs. They're getting better. They're getting better, guys, as we continue. They're making less and less mistakes. The opening 2 rounds was, you know, a little dicey. Those feel like now, in hindsight, the 2 rounds that Outlast probably should have been able to get something.
100%.
Too late now. Chiefs have activated.
Yeah, this is the 6th preference map for Outlast. They've banned it 6 times this stage and only had it banned against them twice. So it's not a particularly comfortable map for them, and so it gives me the impression that this veto is very much a case of they're going in with a 2-1 expectation. Bank was never realistically on the cards for being a great map for them. Consulate is obviously the biggest wild card because they are yet to actually ban it themselves. They have a couple of playtimes on it and a 1-1 record, so things look a little bit more hopeful on Consulate. Order's a bit more of a wild card because, again, 2-5 ban record, so 2 by them, 5 against. It's a little bit more split in terms of preference. So Border's going to be a grind, and then Consulate again a little bit more of a...
I think Border's the kind of map that can also play into the strengths of Chiefs. Now that you've got Jigsaw on the roster, you've got that extra firepower.
And you get this warm-up map to get the jitters out.
Mate, well, he started 0-2. He's now 5-3. So he's been 5-1 since the opening 2 rounds.
Took him 5 rounds to get an entry kill, which... I thought he was just going to be the one entering every single time and finding all the kills, but it's a testament to the rest of the team.
Exactly.
Finding these opportunities.
You can look at it as a negative, and I certainly would not.
It's not a negative. It was just unexpected.
Yeah. The fact that you can have 5 rounds in a row where everyone on your team has now gotten an opening kill is quite...
That is almost unprecedented.
That is bizarre, but it's so good for Chiefs that everyone has the capability.
Yep.
Attacks breaking out. There was certainly, I think, the early and middle portion of the regular stage, Tex was not playing well. And I wouldn't be surprised if it was down to kind of like Tex or player, and then towards the back end, Tex really picked it up. And he's actually peaked at the right stage at the right time.
He's been fulfilling the Ying role really well for these executes, and the rest of the team continues to play around. This is wealth of information that's available. They seem to always have a read as to where these roamers are, how they want to cut them off. Good example here, Jigsaw. He's just going to get Cairo a free kill. You know, has a perfect read and almost catches him on the drop. Relays.
There, oh, finally is an opening kill for OUTLAST, but it doesn't last long. As Tex was able to quickly get the trade, converts that now back to 4v4. Oda from above!
I love that angle.
From the top of main stairs, he gets both kills. Relays is still on a donut and may end this map on a donut with how quick Chiefs are looking to lock it up. Yentai and ACOG, all that remains in the final round of the half on defense to try and formulate a defensive round win. Chiefs are looking for the clean sweep. They're looking for 6 attacking rounds in a row. Oda looks comfortable. He looks confident. And why not when you've got a pretty star-studded lineup behind you, working with you.
And they're not taking shortcuts, right? They are being super clinical in just confirming these rounds and not throwing them, which is really good to see.
Well, in years gone by, a roster like this would be regarded as the best in the region. We are quite fortunate with where we're at now with both Chiefs and Gaming Gladiators. Shot from Quiz. What a player. I mean, you could make arguments right now as the best player in the region with the way he's played this stage. But he won't want to answer that question until maybe the end of the grand final, depending on what happens there. And then 6-0 Chiefs. I mean, not much else to say in that half. They were just utterly dominant. All facets of the game. First 2 rounds, a little shaky, as I said before, but since then, they've been perfect.
Yeah, Bailey getting the opening pick in that round as Relays dropped down on 11 HP, but a very snappy trade. Swift control over towards that default plant position, and again, OUTLAST getting exposed with a severe lack of denial. And so a perfect half for Chiefs on attack, and a 7-0 really should be the case here.
I kind of want to say this, but I also feel like it's going to jinx it. But I'm going to say it anyway, because then you don't know what I'm going to say.
Okay, go.
But I have a feeling today could actually be quicker than yesterday. Only because...
We have 3 big O3s, Jake.
I know, but one of them involves Gaming Gladiators.
Okay.
And right now, this is a 7-0.
Finish before 10.
It's going to be a race. Well, I don't think that's happening. It's going to be a race, but we'll see. Look,
we might finish before 3 AM.
Are you more... How do you view this right now? Are you disappointed a little bit in OUTLAST, or is it just more actually pleased with what you're seeing from Chiefs?
I think as the matches progress, Chiefs have continued to get better. And OUTLAST aren't making massive egregious mistakes. I think it's mainly just a case of a non-preference map, right? So it's difficult to be critical of them here. If this was an OUTLAST map pick, oh, don't get me wrong, this would be absolute disaster.
So you think this is just a
like I said before, they've gone into this video from my perspective as this is a 2-1. Whatever happens on bank doesn't really matter. And that's the, the comfortability that you're afforded in a BO3.
I mean, I guess that means for you then going into border, you're going to need
their border needs to be really clean.
It needs to be really good.
And I will say, the one concerning thing though, Relays, right? Like, he needs to play super well on border to contest this entry, and he still hasn't found a kill.
Quiz gets a freebie as Yentai trying to take out the Yokai, ends up just dying. Quiz actually just trades a Yokai and gets a kill.
Yeah, Quiz has been looking really good as well, which is a concern for sure. It's not been a one-man show from Chiefs, it's been very much a team effort.
Well, do you think the fact that Chiefs and Gaming Gladiators have already met in the APAC Cup is... Who's that more of a positive for?
I think both teams would have been rather happy to scout the other out, to be honest. Maybe GG raised their eyebrow a little bit. It was quite a competitive 3-mapper. I'd say probably Chiefs benefited from it a little bit more. But any game time for Chiefs at the moment with Jigsaw in the roster is really needed. So.
Yeah, especially against quality opposition.
Yeah.
Played better, actually, against Gaming Gladiators than what he's done right now against OUTLAST. Dare I say, he's probably been the most underperforming player for Chiefs.
He hasn't been needed, though. Like.
Yeah, no, he hasn't. There was a down in the background. That was Quiz again. Like. He's got 10. 10 and 1 for Quiz.
Wow.
Not much really to say from this, unfortunately.
Relays needs to find a stat pad before border, just at least get a kill.
Yesterday was so competitive. Well, the second quarterfinal was a strange competition, right? Where it was 7-2, 7-2, 7-2, or 7-1, but yeah, this is something quite different. Not what I expected to begin a semi-final. Well, Quiz eventually goes walking in through stock. Yokai right on the roof watching top square as Bailey makes his way forward. That's an easy yellow pin kill for Cairo to play off of. Tex has been the ultra support wingman in this game, and then he gets the gunshot as well to land onto ACOG. Repel in, dead, 7-0. What a way to start your semi-final for Chiefs under this new organization. With Jigsaw joining, they're one map away from a grand final.
Look, I don't think the path forward is going to be quite as easy as that first map, but that was just absolutely clinical from them. Didn't put too many feet wrong, and when they did, they weren't really punished. Outlast on bank, I think it was a bit of a throwaway.
I saw James before, got up, walked around, and then he had to sit back down again. And we'll see what he's got to say.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, there's not much to say. I think Dev put it best right as we were about to come back. He said, I think the desk might go longer than the game. That might be one of the quickest games I've seen. Vinny, the stat I'm going to throw to you with, these teams have played in 2 best-of-3s over the last 3 months, and it is 21-0.
21-0. 21-0.
Have you ever heard that before?
No, Outlast just haven't found the answer. Chiefs have continued to change their roster around and do different things, and they're still just the kryptonite to Outlast. They couldn't find a single defense.
Yep.
We said before the game, if they play sort of that passive style and sort of try to out-fundamental Chiefs, they're not going to beat them, and they got run over, which is sort of what we predicted. I think the biggest thing for Outlast from this was that they needed to be more aggressive on those defenses, especially early. Don't let Chiefs set the pace of these rounds, and yeah, once they were out and it got to like 2-0, 3-0, it was all going one way.
Yeah, and you know who was really disappointing today from Outlast was Relays. I mean, he's the best player on the team, 7th best in the league, and he actually has tied the most kills in the entire league with Saved. Of course, those teams have played a few more matches than, for example, Chiefs have. But still, that's a pretty insane stat. If Relays had gotten a kill in this game, he would take the title of having the most kills in the league, but he dropped the donut. So there is still time to redeem himself, but I have a feeling that we might actually be heading towards a 28-0, which I've never seen before. I've never heard of before as a rivalry between 2 teams, especially considering Outlast are clearly a top 4 team in the region, and yet they can't do anything against Chiefs.
They are quite competitive. There's no doubt about it. Just not right now. Not against the Chiefs. Like they're legitimate kryptonite. Like it looks like they just descend into absolute anarchy when they get in the server. You know, the Relays comment, 44-20 he went yesterday in his series against Antic, who were the second. They were the Chiefs of stage 1, and now 0-7. And not even an assist. I'm digging my heels in for that conversation.
I wonder if he shot any bullets in that game. I didn't manage to see.
Oh, probably less bullets than were rounds, unfortunately. Look, unfortunately, we're just highlighting issues here for Outlast, but I'm sure there's 1,000,001 issues we could find, Vinny. But we go to Border next. Do you have any hopes?
Maybe. They're attacking first.
Yep.
We know the Border is an attacking-sided map, especially if the defense is, as the same with Bank. If the defenses play very passive, then it's definitely attacker-sided. But in saying that, if you're a team that can be very aggressive on those entries on defense, then you'll have a much better time. And attacking actually becomes quite difficult because you've got to find a way into the building and you have to take about 6 gunfights before you get anywhere near there.
Yeah. You need firepower on Border, that's the big thing, and we didn't see any of that in that match from Outlast, particularly from their top fragger, as we said, Relays. Even ACOG, who's their second best player, had a bit of a quiet one, and we need to see them filled with confidence after getting 7-0'd to start on the attack on Border. It's going to be a massive challenge. Like I said, I think that Chiefs have got this, and I don't think it's going to be pretty. I think it could be heading towards that 28-0 record that we've seen between these teams.
Yeah, unfortunately, Bank is not something we're going to go off heading into Border just to try and keep the conversation positive for Outlast. Quiz, still just an absolute menace, but it is time for us to go to a break. On the other side, Outlast fight for their final chance in the semi-finals.
Well, I sure do hope this map's going to be a bit more entertaining, a bit more competitive. That opening map was just far too one-sided for my liking. Chiefs 7-zip on Bank. Far too good. Got better, really, as the map went on, and that's a little bit terrifying now coming into Border. I feel like they're warmed up. They've just played like a ranked game, and now they're ready for the semi-final. But it's already begun.
Yeah. Warmed up and ready to go. Now on the map pick of Outlast. Interestingly enough...
Yeah, Monte Bang. I don't know if Chiefs really would have played the Monty.
Well, it's still an on-meta ban, so you can't really be too
is.
critical. The Ying, though, right? We saw Chiefs actually abuse it quite extensively back on Bank. That was just text constantly, every execute, throwing in those Candelas and backing it up with aggression. We're not going to see that here on Border. Chiefs starting out on defense, so wanting to stack those rounds. As Army off the board, so limiting some of those playmaking positions, and that will likely then be followed up by the Valkyrie or the Mirror. And it is the Valkyrie. So information gathering for the defensive Chiefs will be hampered a little bit. We saw them dabble in the Echo last round on defense, on the limited defense that we saw. And in terms of attack, their drone work was absolutely spot on. And this Chiefs roster in the past, or some of these players, namely Oda Jigsaw, back on that old Blist roster, renowned here on Border for their pre-placed drone game. So we'll keep an eye on that in the second half, but we'll focus on defense.
To be fair, so Outlast, of course, played this map yesterday. It was the map against Antic, the third one that they beat them on 7-5, and they banned Montang and Azami. So they've just gone with the same bans again. I guess for them, it's kind of like the way that they play this map. They just don't want to have to deal with those operators. Whether the Chiefs play them or not is irrelevant. The Ying also got banned out yesterday. So really the only difference between the Outlast Antic Border and this one is the castle's now available, but the Valkyrie has been banned. So that's the only thing that's changed. Even more importantly, Outlast began yesterday on attack. They got a 4-2 half. They begin attack here against Chiefs as well. They're going to have to do well this half. They're going to have to get rounds, but a round as well would be nice, because it's 7-0 right now in the semi-final, best of 3, as you can see on the top right. But this is their map pick. They should be more confident and comfortable. Unfortunately, their bank was so poor and the Chiefs were so good that I just have, well, very little belief that Outlast can get the job done here. I mean, Relays went 0-7. Ned went 2-7. Yentai 3-7. They got beaten to a pulp on Bank, and it's going to take something very special for them to bring it back here. I know it's a new map. These guys are pros. They will forget about that first map. But Chiefs are well and truly warmed up now, so this is going to be a very tough ask.
Yeah, the first couple of rounds are going to be super telling. I still hold on to a bit of faith here for Outlast. I don't know if that necessarily pitches them as favorites on this map for me, but I do anticipate a much more competitive performance here. But Relays especially are going to be under a massive microscope. Top-rated player for Outlast heading into the night and having 0 impact on Bank. So looking at him to step up. With Castle available, we see this extension over towards Break Room in combination with the Mirror, so that makes that part of the map very difficult to break down, requires a lot of utility investment. The attack can elect to go more direct over towards Archives, maybe try and hit double wall and clear half wall. Armory as well to try and avoid it. So we'll see what the approach ends up being here from Outlast.
They've got no map control though. I mean, they're just so slow to enter. Even now, minute 40, and you're only just opening up break and it's contested anyway. Stark contrast to yesterday, I mean, but admittedly, very different opponent. Of course, Antic versus Chiefs is quite the scale up.
I mean, they have presence in customs, but that's about it.
That's it. And Ned's been in there for a little while now. He's trying to obviously play the death mark down below and see if he can get a couple of kills, but yeah, little movement. Castle, of course, was banned yesterday, being played now by Oda.
Interesting that they're marking Oda. I don't know if they're anticipating him to be the one playing 90. But Oda's safe on this brick position.
They need to be marking Cairo.
It's a triple stack below from the attack.
It's only a minute left, guys. I mean, this is quite a slow attack. I think from their perspective, they feel it's very necessary to find an early pick from the vert below. But Cairo has now started to join them from down below, and it will be an opening kill on the Nitrocell from Jigsaw. Does get traded, though, by Relays. Keep an eye on Cairo, still lurking. Main lobby, 30 seconds. He's going to be the one to swing around. He did lose his life to Yentai, who was holding that ankle so deep in the round. Fair play. Now triple stack up metal. Suddenly, OUTLAST have got potential from behind, though. Tex just wipes them out. One more still below. He doesn't hear him running as he runs up the stairs. 2 versus 2, and Tex, what a pain in the backside from Bot Metal. Gets the double kill. More coming up now. Pistol ready, makes the push. Relays hits the shot, and so does Yentai. They both win their ones, and OUTLAST are on the board here in the semi-final. What a strange old round to start Border.
Bit of a battle of mid in that round. Yeah, Tex allowed to drop hatch, go for the flank, successful, untraded. And then an act of desperation there from OUTLAST, proving successful in the dying seconds. There was a bit of an unusual round from the attack, triple stack down below, then trying to snowball that up metal. And caught right here from Tex, who almost got the third, which ironically probably would have won them the round.
If he had got that kill initially and got all 3. But even more importantly, if he doesn't vault that and get off of metal and they actually continue with the triple stack up, he then gets probably all 3. So, yeah, I mean, look, a close margin there.
It's a strange round. OUTLAST going into this without that castle banned out should probably be anticipating, you know, that high-level strategy. That break room extension with the castle is rather on meta globally at the moment, and they showed almost no interest in wanting to contest that at all. And being their map pick, I would have anticipated them to actually try to contest it. Now, equally, right, you can sometimes exploit weaknesses elsewhere on the map, but the Vert offered them almost nothing. So, yeah, a little bit fortunate to scrape away with that round, but it is at least something on the board, right? They're able to finally end that streak.
Yep.
And that can help build into a little bit more confidence.
Yeah, absolutely. I think getting the first round in the first round is just a big circuit breaker for OUTLAST. You're finally on the board, the 7-0. Yeah, it's certainly not a fun statistic in that opening map, and to begin the second map with a round win straight away would at least calm any nerves. Yentai switching off the Buck over to the Finca. We saw the LMG be quite impressive from Quiz back on bank. OUTLAST didn't quite get their time on the attack to utilize it themselves, but will so now get that chance here on board up.
Wow. Oh boy. Well, we've been praising the info game from Chiefs, but that's pretty unforgivable.
Giving them the Guz rant.
Well, it's not even a rant, it's just, I don't even have to say anything, everyone knows.
It's the one unspoken rule for you. You don't get upset too often. I do. But defaults being left up, that tickles your dislike.
I mean, it happens, but I think not getting on cams when you die on defense is worse than not getting a default on attack.
That happened yesterday as well.
They're equally poor. And it's the same team.
Again, similar though, foray into the attack for OUTLAST, playing the exterior. Entry into Passport for Bailey. They do have also relays in towards Vent. Speaking of relays, 2 kills in that opening round. Guz is also a testament for him after 0-7. Like his team on bank, but also like his team starting well here on border in the opening round. Second logic bomb will ring out. While I've cursed him there, he loses his life immediately. But Yentai again, the LMG's been, well, the star gun so far in this semi-final. ACOG also gets the kill onto Oda. And suddenly, advantage OUTLAST.
Yeah, 60 seconds then on the clock. Still a 2-stack though above here from the defense, so investing heavily in Vert, and Cairo inside of Tellers itself, able to find value. Drops Bailey. Quiz to go exploring. Spots one window, but drops to try help him fortify this position down below.
They've got no one above now for Chiefs. They're all just playing sight and around it.
Yeah.
Yentai still in towards break, could eventually try and maybe play the hatch. 40 seconds, bit of time, they're going to have to get moving, but you also need to get bodies into sight, get the plant down. I think Chiefs playing sight here is definitely going to be the play. Well, 90 only just getting taken out in terms of default. This is too slow from Yentai though. If this had been like the minute mark, sure.
I mean, they're already off second floor, so he's not going to catch anything unless there's a re-aggress above, but I highly doubt it.
Yellow pink information, drones in towards sight.
Oh, he is going above.
Bulletproof camera looking to get shot out here on the side, but no. ACOG can't quite get the angle, does have the diffuser. Up above, Quiz gets rid of Yentai.
Timing.
And ACOG looking to get the plant down in towards Towers as the shot's not quite landing for Jigsaw, but a little bit. Gets him off the plant, still not sticking it. Is ACOG with 1 second left, and he will not be able to get it down in time when the 3v1 Chiefs will answer straight back in the second round after losing the opening. A pretty solid defense over towards Bathroom Metals.
Yeah, good dynamic there from the defense. The reposition down below to hold it from a more horizontal position was really, really clean. I don't know whether they had a read on where that diffuser actually was dropped down in waiting room, but nonetheless, it was the right play. And then Quiz catching good timing on the retake up above as well, giving his team the advantage. Got a little bit messy in terms of the actual plan denial itself, but Chiefs not overcommitting, not throwing away their lives, and then able to play into the clock, which was very much in their favor once again. So Chiefs on the board now, tertiary site now in play over the workshop as anticipated. I'd be pretty intrigued actually to have a look at the defensive win rate on this site, if it's actually any good. So I'll bring up that number. Are you trying to beat me to it?
No, you go.
I don't know, I'm seeing you go bang right down your phone. Okay, so Border overall, for context, has had an attacking win rate of 60%, and Vent Workshop has had an attacking win rate of 70%. So Chiefs very much looking to target a 3-round half.
Yeah, I think they'll be certainly capable. But at the very least for OUTLAST, they look far more competitive here on Border than Bank. That wasn't much of a task though, unfortunately. It's intriguing though for me is the fact that Chiefs actually not looking to go back to Armory and Archives. They go Vent Workshop instead here in the third round. Of course, losing the opening round on said earlier site. Maybe just wanted to see what the tertiary is going to bring. That's an early entry into Passport from Yentai. He's actually quite lucky to keep his life.
Yeah, very fortunate.
That was a very lackadaisical entry.
Yeah, it wasn't checked.
Those are the kind of movements and entries that against other teams it may work and catch someone off guard, but not against Chiefs. This is aggressive from Quiz, and Bailey was ready for it. Maybe the over-aggression there from Quiz, not warranted. 1-2, trying to do a little bit too much. Doesn't need to go for that vault out. That doesn't need to be the kind of gameplay that Quiz is needing to produce. Just play smart Siege the way that you did back on Bank. We didn't see anything like that on Bank. I mean, he's the captain. You can set those EDDs and then, well, forego your life. Your utility could still find a kill from the grave. It wouldn't shock me. But opening kill for OUTLAST, you'll take that. It's a handy start in this round. It will be their first opening kill here on Border as well. They only had one back on Bank through 7 rounds. ACOG will give them now a 2-player advantage, getting the kill onto Jigsaw. The Oryx dealt with. Bit of hallway controlled as well. 90 cam done. And they've still got good presence as well here. This is looking like a pretty well orchestrated round from OUTLAST.
Yeah, we'll see what the conversion's like though. Does Border sometimes lean itself into being challenging to confirm rounds at times, but at the moment they are trapping these defenders in awkward positions. The round will be theirs. Kyra will have the stats. Unlikely to win out this clutch, of course.
He almost got that kill actually onto ACOG. So 2 rounds for OUTLAST. Yeah, far better from them so far on Border. They're meeting the means test, that's for sure. But really, this is not what you need to be doing if you're Quiz, giving them any kind of chance. And as soon as Quiz dies there, I mean, really smart from Bailey. He knows he can just play the window. As soon as there's pressure up above from the rest of his team, he's in the best position to then capitalize as those defenders around the site start moving around. And he does get a kill, and they do get another round. And we do now have a contest in this first semi-final. For those just tuning in, we haven't really been too far into the broadcast tonight. 7-0 on the first map. We've got Gaming Gladiators and Circular Spheres in the next semi-final to come, and then a 5th place match to round out the day later on.
Can't wait for the 5th place game.
It's sure to be a tantalizing affair. We will be casting it.
Is it 5 SI points again on the line?
I think so, and
probably like
some money.
Couple $1,000. GG game will also be pretty good, you would imagine.
10 seconds
for GG. I think CS could put up a bit of a fight.
Yeah, I mean, they could.
5 seconds to insertion.
I mean, they absolutely go in with no expectation. Somewhat similar here with OUTLAST, I guess, against Chiefs, but even to a higher degree. We see the Blitz, actually, for the first time. We haven't really seen Shield play in this series, of course, the Montaigne being banned out.
No Oryx this time around, but Legion and Fenrir in play to counter. Seen a heavy reliance on the Aruni as well for util burn in this half from Chiefs. We don't see the castle strap bought this time around, so Oda's been freed up onto the Warden. I wonder if this is going to be an Archives hit, pretty direct. All signs indicating that that might be the option here, especially where Ned's posturing at the moment. Could work out. Got to remember though, those smokes into Warden pose a threat for the attack.
I will say the patience from OUTLAST, the way that they're playing these exterior positions, although caught by Jigsaw, top waiting relays, just a small slither of his body showing on the other side of that broken barricade, and Jigsaw will happily take the free opening kill. Just his second now already for Jigsaw in this opening half.
Losing the Ash isn't massive in terms of the overall win con here for the attack. Lack of firepower, though, may prove costly. Attack's locking down top east. Strong line of sight, and Jigsaw establishing his presence furthermore over towards break, and this round is likely going to fall apart at the seams unless something crazy happens here for OUTLAST. ACOG is able to fight back and drop the danger man for Quiz, who's had a quiet start here on border. Tex to try and rotate back safely, and Jigsaw to cover his wayside. ACOG continues to put up a fight in this round. He has this ability, ACOG. He's been so strong this stage to just never give up. 2 versus 3 with the Blitz in play. Can't completely rule out OUTLAST from this position, but they're playing into these double trap ops and the Warden. So the biggest 3 counters to the Blitz.
Yeah, still up.
Obviously, Mute can cancel out the Blitz flash, but that's minute.
Not a lot of time remaining as well. So far, back and forth here on border between these two teams. This one proving to be quite a difficult round now for OUTLAST as the duo to try and formulate any kind of attack to steal this 4th round. Seemingly looking like Armory and Archives will go the way of Chiefs. Especially with so little time remaining. ACOG eventually pushes into Fountain. Can't get the kill. Jigsaw get them both and he gets the ace. And that is exactly why you bring him back to this region and join this team for what he can do. 2-2 here on border as Chiefs get themselves a second defensive round. Would you say 3 was the mark that they'd probably look for? 1 to go?
Well, 2 would be expectation minimum. I think 3 would be Chiefs are happy. Anything more than that, and it's pretty much map over. Great round there from Jigsaw. Goes without saying, able to lock down break, then rotates across for that support in through Fountain for the 3 versus 2. And Chiefs continue to look very clinical. In winnable positions, they're not making big errors. And it means for OUTLAST, again, they need to play absolutely spot on. They can't be relying on Chiefs making a ton of mistakes, and it's making life difficult for them at the moment. But they're still competitive in this match. Don't get that twisted. 2-2 scoreline. They have had some good moments, some clutch moments throughout this half. Well, you rotate back over towards Tellers for this second last attack for them. The castle has been reintroduced from Chiefs. So they've flexed their muscles a little bit here in terms of comp diversity and strategic depth as well, which I didn't really expect from Chiefs, given that they're... I think it's fair to still brand them as a bit of a ragtag team at the moment. To an extent. But that could probably be said about 99% of teams in the history of this region. So.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, relays onto the Nook. Of course, it was banned out on bank. Most played attacking operator for him specifically. I don't know if it was like a necessary hard ban or hard target ban on bank, but
just a minor thing there as well, right? Those barricade placements, it's very minor, but it's just stalling out the progress of this attack, and it gives away that sound and visual cue to the defense that somebody is pushing in through customs or, you know, detention, and it limits the playmaking opportunities of the likes of relays on that Nook. ACOG, though, has been able to find an opening elsewhere. And this horizontal push now starts to unlock itself a little bit more. Jigsaw shut down off the back of an ace in the previous round. OUTLAST with the advantage. Let's see how they go about converting this advantageous position.
Especially the fact that it's Jigsaw as well that you've been able to eliminate. Takes out quite a large part of the firepower for Chiefs. Now Kari going down on almost a chance there. Relays does get said chance. Top he stairs. Tex losing a bit of his life. Quite fortunate that he is still alive. And now Chiefs under the pump. Quiz, good shot onto ACOG. He was so good back on bank. Really did lead all comers in terms of his fragging power. Oda with his first kill. He's been silent on border, was good on bank, certainly got involved with everyone on an equal measure. And now a very even round with 60 seconds left. It becomes a 3v3. Reinforcement, rotate hole has been blocked off into towers by Tex. They go back, they play sight.
That's massive from Tex to be able to get back there. That was a precarious position. You could see how cautious he was. That reinforcement alongside the layering of the castle barricades means that there's now this second line of defense that the attack needs to break down. It's a rather uncomfortable position, just the one Ash charge in play.
Bailey's by himself here down below as he clears out through customs. Two teammates up above and only just now Ned rotating outside. There's not a lot of time remaining in this round. OUTLAST really need to get this third attacking round. Drone goes in, live drone for relays. The Nook drops down. Only one drone remaining, 20 seconds left in towards site. Are they even aware though that he's made the drop and that he's inside a bathroom? Yellow ping information. Well, he's been spotted now on the bulletproof camera, swinging around on the other side of bathroom. Good shot from Oda to win that up close. Knows there's one. Why are you shooting your teammate? Quiz chops down. Oda takes him out, but luckily there's no time. Chiefs win the round anyway. Smile from Oda as Quiz. I think scared the shit out of him.
I think he's sick of seeing at the top of the stats.
I mean, at that point, he's probably wondering if someone's dropping that hatch with 5 seconds left. It's got to be a bad guy, right?
Yeah, for the trade. That was a bit awkward.
I mean, he shredded him.
It's a sharp shot.
FPS bug though, as we get our tech pause. We were very good on these yesterday, despite the lengthy day. We had no rehosts, no real tech pauses, as we'll hear what the teams say.
No, wait, play time.
Nah, forget about playing time. Just kill him.
Kill your teammates while you're at it.
Well, they get to 3 Chiefs. It's been far more competitive, at least in this first half of Border. I think OUTLAST, that was maybe the first round in which they had themselves an advantage. They had themselves a really good position, but Chiefs brought it back. They were up 5-3 in that, and then a couple of really big moments, some kills from Oda, from Quiz, the reinforcement off into Tellers from Tex. Like, all of that happening in about like a 30-second span changed the course of that round.
They really had to trap Tex. I think for me, again, it's not a stat that goes towards the scoreboard. It's not something that is a highlight play, but his ability to escape that position and then help bolster the backline on site is really impressive, and it made that defense so much more difficult to break down with limited utility. We've seen the castle be super impactful across a multitude of setups now. The Nook got limited value with the barricades in place. I don't know if it fully dodged the BPC earlier because he was moving quite quickly. Would have been giving off the streaks, and they probably heard the sound cue on the drop anyway, so I don't know if the Nook provided a ton of value either. An opportunity though, I think, for OUTLAST to take a breather. They will be sensing that this next round is really important. Chiefs have already surpassed the expectation in terms of attacking win rate of the region. 3 rounds is good. A 4th is, it's not quite the final dagger, but it's very close to being so.
What do you think of the ego on Oda, ignoring his biggest fan?
Who's Oda's biggest fan?
Well, they're right behind him.
He is a big fan.
They must be a big fan. They get access to the room as he plays.
VIP over the shoulder.
Yeah.
Oh, back in, no rehearse. That's nice.
That is actually
that is unprecedented.
That is quite rare in this region. FPS bugs can lead to hosts quite often. I was watching EUL this morning.
Why were you up so early? What time was that?
It was like 8 in the morning or something like that.
I think I went to bed at 6.
There was quite some delays.
Was that the Wolves BDS game?
That went the distance. That was
Yeah,
good.
15 rounds in the final map, I believe.
That was good.
Yeah.
I was really hoping that Wolves would win just to give an Oceanic team a chance at the major.
Yeah, GG and Wolves having a lot of history. Feels like them and SSG, they just always face off overseas.
Wolves. Wait, do Wolves? Wolves don't even beat SSG, do they? I was gonna say it could be like that, little circle where it's like Wolves beat SSG, SSG always beat GG, GG always beat Wolves.
Won't happen though, unless Wolves can LCQ it. I think that's how the format plays out.
Do they have? No, they still. There's another opportunity, isn't there?
Yeah, LCQ.
Like VP.
Yeah, LCQ.
No, well, they have LCQ as well, but there's still like a third seed or something. I don't know. They're a major region. They get 4 spots. We're going to get 1 here, so
yeah,
it's all a little bit different.
We're used to working the small leagues.
For us, it's like, this is it. If you lose this series, you're done. There is no second spot. There's no third spot. There's no 4th spot.
Oh, there is a major core match against VP.
Yeah, that's right.
VP looked pretty poor. I was talking to James. He was casting that game. They got absolutely...
Oh, James does EUL?
Yeah, he does.
Oh.
Team Secret wiped the floor. Virtue, the Aussie over there, doing well.
Maybe we should go do some NAL.
My sleep schedule's bad enough, mate.
That's true. Now, final round of this half coming up. Chiefs have already gotten to that magical 3 number. Can Outlast do the same? Unfortunately, Ned struggling a little bit. 0 and 4 on the Grim this round. Even still, Relays, overall 2-10 in this semi-final for the 7th best player in the region, your best player on the team. Oh. Quiz knows this one on the rappel.
How long does Quiz look to hold on to this position? It's
drops pretty quickly, I think, when
not the safest.
The contact gets hot, and it doesn't even really get all that hot. He just drops anyway.
Oh, it could have been cut off from customs there, but the timing off. Oh.
Ooh. Well, deployable shield will stand.
Yeah. Get a little piece of tech there from Tex.
Although it is a good opening kill from Yentai. Bailey also getting rid of Quiz, who was really on the move from the pressure of Outlast. This has probably been, actually, in terms of these rounds, early on, the best pressure we've seen from Outlast, and it's rewarded. Flank from Cairo. Well, Ned. Don't know about that one. And Jigsaw also getting, them are mine. Well,
no.
I couldn't even finish my sentence, and they just go and lose 3 players simultaneously, and that now makes it a very difficult round for Yentai and Bailey, who got the kills. Now they must win the round. 2 versus 3 environment from here with very little time remaining, and you still got to clear up above. This is going to be oh so tricky.
And the Banshees are broadcasting this to the rest of the map.
Bailey's like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, it's all dirty.
On inside of security. That being, of course, Cairo. We'll smoke him off. Default gets shot out. Was being watched. Guz. You'd like that? Cam's being watched. Oda's actually on a bulletproof camera at the moment, and it's on the bulletproof camera that is spotting Bailey. Pulled the Goon Mine out. Now tries to renegotiate his position over towards deeper into server. So for the point going down successfully,
okay.
although never mind, denied. Yentai did get a kill, but I'll tell you what, did get a little spicier than you thought it should. Still a 4th round acquired for Chiefs, and they take themselves a little lead here on border.
Yeah. Absolutely now in pole position to be able to close out this map, Chiefs. Unfortunate for Outlast. Good start in the round. Able to find the double, but the regress above caught off guard by the members of Chiefs that didn't forfeit that control. And then, ironically, able to maintain it and hold it. Able to deny plant vertically.
Attackers need to locate
Good information on side and those defenders making sure that they were watching it. And so heading into the second half now, Outlast on defense. Not the favored side here for O-Sporter.
I think this has also so far been a really good series to highlight for Chiefs, right? They've got many different avenues as a team on Bank, it was the quiz show, and he was super aggressive, and he was getting lots of kills, and it was all working out. It's not quite working out here on Border. It hasn't worked. Quiz is trying to play the same kind of way. He's aggressive, he's trying to get kills, but he's 2-5. But you've got now Jigsaw, who can cover the load a little bit and get a lot of these kills and be quite impactful. Tex is also playing incredibly well. We know what Oda's capable of, and even Cairo.
Look at the drones. Look at the drones. They have 5 drones all pre-placed, ready to go. You can see it on the cards there before we enter the action phase. So they have a full read as to where everyone probably is, what push they're going to go for. We see Jigsaw as well switch onto the Brava late and forfeit the Ash onto Quiz.
I mean, I doubt that we're going to see anything too exceptional from OUTLAST on an Armory site that they will probably play rather default anyway.
I wonder if Chiefs avoid the break extension. I get the impression they might try to.
Question is how OUTLAST, in terms of their capability of being able to play this. Well, window done. Curious to also see the speed in which Chiefs get on the attack. We only got 1 round from them on the, was it the defense on Bank? So we saw quite a lot of their attacks on. Oh, well, it's not your gun. Put that one away, Quiz.
Quiz dodging IRL.
Knows that he's close right, expecting that swing. He pops up, and he'd already crossed. Gentai are playing a very dangerous game right now inside a break. He's playing with his life. Kind of has to, though. Really needs to try and deny Chiefs the ability to just push in for free. Relay's there for cover as the Logic Bomb does ring out from Cairo. Bailey just swings, but just a little bit too lazy on the swing, and Oda will punish him. But the opening kill did go the way of OUTLAST. Cairo lost his life pushing in. Jigsaw, though,
where's it come from?
Forces his way in through, I think, was that 90?
I think he just walked up main.
90 seconds left. Apparently no one watching top main, and in the end, now Sight is vulnerable because they've just lost so much in 1 hit. Oda, though, the solo peek, unsuccessful. Good shot from ACOG. 2 versus 3, lots of time still remaining.
ACOG got an 8K and he's looked really sharp tonight, so I certainly wouldn't rule him out. But Chiefs have so much time on their side, 5 drones available. Surely they convert.
Oh, chance. Oh, Tex wins that. I tell you, that was a good opportunity for Relays. I think he'll be kicking himself because Relays probably should have got that kill. It would have made it a 2 versus 2. Player prone. Quiz easy as it's done. Chiefs go up 5-2. And this semi-final is well and truly getting away from OUTLAST.
Ring the bell, I think.
You done?
Yeah.
You're going to throw the white towel in?
Well, I'm not throwing the white tail in. I don't think OUTLAST are either, but they need to really ramp it up here defensively.
It could be a bit like Rocky 3, though. Maybe you have to throw the towel in.
You don't get a second chance here, though.
No, you don't.
Well, you do get the SI qual, SI APAC last chance qual, but...
Yeah, well, this is for the major.
It is for the major. No LCQ here for the major.
No, there is no... there's no 4 spots for OCE. Nor should there be.
No.
Attackers have located a bomb.
Maybe 2. Maybe 2.
Who are you stealing it from?
Oh, Korea. Straight away. Sorry, not sorry. To be fair, I'd probably go to Asia before OCE.
Probably.
It just makes this, though, more fascinating, especially with Chiefs and Gaming Gladiators now as 2 real threats in this region.
It's going to be interesting, I think, to compare the potential domination of this series, assuming this trend continues and they win comfortably, and that GG series, right?
Yeah.
Because GG have a reputation of being absolutely ruthless.
I mean, I put Circular Spheres in the same pedigree as OUTLAST and in their potential ability to kind of upset, win rounds, be aggressive, find kills, be annoying, be a nuisance. But the other thing as well is also the playstyle of the Gaming Gladiators is, you know, just so methodical that it's almost too good that sometimes it ends up being their downfall in this region. Where they try and play a way that the expectation is, oh, we thought that the opposing team would play the right way, but they didn't, and then that caught us off guard. And that's the only way that they kind of end up losing these rounds. Is there a way back for OUTLAST on the defense here? Now it's very much do or die in the semi-final. 7-0 on the first map.
Did seem.
Chiefs 2 rounds away. Whether you see him or not, maybe you still got to expect to play east stairs and could push up. Quiz though now holding the left side angle in towards the hallway. Not sure though, could there be someone that pushes top waiting? Ned actually has fortunately made the wrong kind of contact down to 11 HP, but it is ACOG that gets the opening kill. But doesn't matter. The advantage was very much short-lived. Trades across the board, 3v3 remaining in this round. Still no kill yet for Ned. Could he find it here on the Fenrir?
I mean, Jigsaw's, I think, posturing again to try and exploit main stairs, but ACOG at least was watching it. We'll go back to monitoring main stairs now.
Oh, Jigsaw gets one here. 3, 2,
I think he's
3.
He's waiting for a Q elsewhere.
3, 5, 4, 3. That's not happening.
Oh. No, he's giving up.
Attackers recovered the bomb.
It might be a late flank. They'll be waiting for a bit more pressure elsewhere. Okay, Kyra's in sight. I didn't even spot that. This is an awkward round now for both teams.
Oh,
bit of a
Bailey,
standoff.
no, there's one just to his right. Well, inside, it's Kyra inside of Talers, Tex as well.
No, he's heard the plant, I think. Actually, no, that's on the other side. I don't think they know.
Yeah, no, actually, I don't think... Well, now they've caught on. But they're playing so offside, they've basically given it up. This has been a strange hold, but Bailey gets a kill onto Jigsaw. Or watching for the cross in. Cairo well positioned, gets them both. Tex as well, won his 1v1. And Chiefs are making very quick work of Outlast in the semi-final, unfortunately. 7-0 into now 6-2. And this is turning into a speed run. Look, I think Outlast in the futures, we're coming to the close here in the semi-final. I do want to quickly say, before we go to the desk and before we close this round, like I think there's a really good team there in the making. I'd love to just see them stick together. It's the hallmark of this region, guys, where teams just don't stick together. They have one stage and then they want to chop and change. This guy's got to go. Let's maybe bring this guy in. Look, if you make one player swap going into the, SI quals, that's one thing. But there's something there. I think you've got a team that can certainly improve and get better going into next year. And they look like a young team. They don't look... I mean, they look young. I don't know their ages, but ACOG kind of looks like a 15-year-old Lance Stroll.
So final tactical timeout then for Outlast. We would imagine here for stage number 2 of 2024 and a final roll of the dice to see if they can scrap together a recovery effort on border. Off the back of that tactical timeout, we have now rolled into a technical timeout. Unsure as to why, but hopefully we're able to get the match underway once more in a moment.
Man, what a day tomorrow for Chiefs, into a grand final, a spot to go to the major. Oda, of course, has been there so frequently in recent times.
Not as the underdog, though.
Not as the underdog in terms of a grand final. So what was the last... Was Copenhagen the last major for Jigsaw? It would have been, right? Because Wedables came in for Atlanta.
I think you're on the money. I'll double check.
And we know Fnatic's not qualifying for anything.
No.
What about Tex? When was the last time Tex went overseas?
I'll find that as well. I'll give you a moment.
I'll give you. We've got a moment here into the tech pause.
I've got to.
It's kind of why I'm posing the question, guys.
Got to dig deep into the archives for that one. Who would you like first?
Whichever one you can get between the two of them.
I'll go Jigsaw first. Just a bit more recency.
It should be Copenhagen though, from memory.
Yeah, Copenhagen, 21st to 24th. They didn't do that great.
What about Quiz? Because he never got to go, right? Like he qualified but never got to go. Yeah. COVID era.
Pandemic.
Cairo, of course, hasn't had the pleasure. But it does highlight, as a roster, I don't know if, I guess you're slowly getting text, but that, you've got international experience on this roster. That makes them so dominant.
I got it. I thought this was the answer, and I just want to triple check.
Is it not a good answer? Is that what you...
Do you want to take a punt at when he's
text?
Like when and what event it was?
Before my time. Can I just say that?
It was before your time.
There you go.
6 Invitational 2020.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And they actually did quite well at that event. They played main stage, top 6 finish. They got slaughtered by BDS. I actually remember that. I think it was like Concert was the second map, and they were just getting slammed. I think they might have gotten 1 round or something. Good times. That was the event they took down G2.
And then a couple of months later, I started casting, and it's all been downhill.
All went downhill, yeah. I actually want to have a look at what that scoreline was. Lower bracket quarterfinal, Fnatic BDS. So they actually got 5 rounds on Consulate, so I apologize. It was Cafe that they went 0-7. But ultimately did not make it through.
Well, is there a possibility that Outlast can extend this semi-final even just for a little bit? And a reminder, of course, Gaming Gladiators and Circular Spheres for semi-final number 2 coming up pretty quickly after this one. Plenty more Oceanic Siege after this does finalize. But for Chiefs, it's really always been about, can you just get to that grand final and then anything can happen against, well, arguably Gaming Gladiators, let's be real. Unless Circular Spheres do something very incredible. Relays will get himself an opening kill on Takaro. But it does feel a little too little late for him. Unfortunately, it's been a rough series for one of the top up-and-coming players in the region. He will make this attack, though, just a wee bit more difficult for Chiefs. See if they can navigate this scenario.
There is a player there. Grenade will dislodge.
And that will be almost a kill.
Relays has just eaten that up, and he's able to heal himself back up over towards Fountain.
I was going to say, of all the players as well, it is the Doc, so he will just use the Stim Pistol, get back up to full HP. But they do clear out that mirror window position and deal with it. They're just guarding bot metal, but wants to maybe go for a walk. 0-7.
Don't throw away the advantage, guys.
Yeah, this is where you end up just kind of throwing it away, but he should be good for this kill. No. Oh, no, he's not.
Not against Jigsaw.
Not against Jigsaw. 12-4. He's warming up for tomorrow. Ned will be kicking himself.
Yeah, that FMG is so gnarly at the moment.
Red Pink Intel here for Outlast, trying to play off it. Jigsaw finds another one onto Bailey. The man is just hunting them down 1 by 1. Still over a minute remaining. Good effort from Yentai, though, over towards top waiting, and eventually do shut down Jigsaw on the knock. Now 2v3 in favor of the defense. Good chance there, but Tex just better against Relays. Flashbang thrown out for White. Somehow Tex still alive on 2 health points, and he ended up getting the kill onto ACOG with a pistol. Now down to a 1 versus 1. 2 HP though for Tex. It's not enough, as Yentai will get the double at the end, and we continue in this semi-final. 6-3. This one's not done just yet.
That's a pretty massive round from Yentai. We saw the push through break to really begin the dislodge of that attack. We saw the earlier self-res and then a later pickup as well with the Stim pistol. So he got really good value from that Doc utility. Yeah, ate that. Ned went searching below and got slammed.
He ended up shooting the metal support beam.
Yeah.
Yeah, big round from Yentai.
ACOG did a good job Fountain as well. He was able to get picked up by the Stim pistol, held Fountain for quite some time. Tech's not really with many other options there, but to try and cross for the plant. Smiles in the Outlast camp.
Yeah, it's good to see. It's really good to see. I think, you know, even as players, as much as you want to give yourself every opportunity and every chance, you can anyone can see the writing on the wall here. So they know, I mean, the pressure's probably off for them now. 7-0 down, 6-3 down, 3 match points, 3 series points for Chiefs, and you're just going to have some fun here for your final games of Pro League officials for the year. Again, I think that's definitely something to work with, though, for this team. It's one that if you can just continue to stay together, keep screaming, keep practicing, keep trying to improve, have the right mentality. You know, you think about it, it's always very difficult to envision that you could be one of the teams that can make yourself one of the best in the region, but a lot of these players on Chiefs, a lot of the players even on Gaming Gladiators at one point or another, you know, had to start their journey somewhere. And coming up from Tier 2 into Tier 1, etc. Well, it has been, though, one dominant aspect for Outlast. They've got 5 opening kills in a row. Their conversion rates, though, have not been good. In fact, the last round was of the 5, the only one to convert into a round win, but Certainly a statistic, although one now that has been cut short as Tex will find a kill. There's one in towards break.
Hasn't been spotted.
That is relays on the tuber route. Is there a chance? Tex will spot the head. He dials on the left side. Good reaction time from Tex. 13 and 5. Matching Jigsaw on this very map as Oda looking to compound the advantage and Chiefs looking to also close this one out so that they can go and have dinner.
Yeah, the drone work. Unrelenting. The pressure.
Oh. Pop. Nice one for ACOG.
It's been a good day for ACOG. He's been so good this stage.
He's been really good. There's been lots of positives. Again, I think Relay's disappointing semi-final, but he had a tremendous stage. You should be proud of the stage that he has had, as his team has had. Definitely a team on the rise in this region, but their time, guys, is not now. It's the time for Chiefs to make a grand final. What a redemption arc for Oda and co, especially for Oda, back into yet another grand final. This time, though, he may be an underdog. We shall see. Still another semi-final to get through later today. But for now, one thing we do know, Chiefs are on top.
Certainly are. Jigsaw playing very well tonight as well, but certainly a team effort. No over-reliance on any individual this evening, and that will serve them well in the grand final.
Well, congratulations to Chiefs. Commiserations to OUTLAST for happy with themselves to make a